Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are we? Wow, looks like you guys have been talking away in the comment section. Hang on a sec. Sometimes this keyboard likes to miss out a few keys, and I end up looking like I don't know how to spell. I do know how to spell, I promise you. How is everybody? We all good? Did everybody have a good 4th of July, those that celebrated it? Oh. How's it going, Willows? You good? Let's see what you guys have been talking about. I've genuinely not been here. I've just been to my brother's for the last hour. Literally just got back. So let me have a quick catch up here. Craig, great to have you here, man. Really good to have you here. Jamie, great to see you too, mate. Let's see. Alright, I'm going to do a quick... How's it going, mate? Dan's... I apologise, Dan. I can't pronounce the rest of your name. Apologies. But that's epic, man. You got all the way from Russia. I've never been to Russia. I've always wanted to see... what do they call it? The Red Square. Always wanted to go and see the Red Square. So where the cathedral is, right? But right, let me just pull up. I'm going to pull up Facebook very quickly and throw a post up saying that we are live. I'm hoping that Rob's going to join us later, either in the comment section or on the actual stream, and he can tell you all the story about what happened yesterday with some fireworks. Apparently, there was a bit of a shindig happened with some fireworks and a piece of PVC pipe, but we'll leave it at that. Right, so I don't know if you can tell she's only got one leg on at the moment, and that's because for the last day or so I've been recording the fork videos. Everyone's been asking for the fork videos. A load of people freaked out when I did the fork cover video but then didn't do the fork seal video. People thought that I'd like bypassed it. I hadn't. I just wanted to get that video out for ZR Tech. Has anybody else actually been over to their website yet and purchased those covers? Has anyone got themselves a set? They're freaking awesome. They're so easy to use. I know they're not on mine at the moment, but my forks are on and off at the moment for the video. You'll see a new angle as well in the video. It is going live tonight, 10 o'clock. But I finally mounted a ceiling boom arm for the camera, so you'll actually get an overview look, bird's eye view of the work area. Finally, a few of you have asked for that in the comments over the past sort of 3 months or so. It was a good shout because the video looks so much cleaner from above rather than at an angle. So when I'm showing you all the bushings and the big washers and how to remove the damper rod, etc., you can actually see it being done as opposed to my shoulder getting in the way or anything like that. So I'm hoping that it comes out well for you guys. Let's see. Craig says cheaper lifts. Okay, so you guys have clearly been having a great conversation. How's it going, Tabitha? Great to have you here. How's it going, Myra? Songstars, how's it going? There's a few of you in tonight already. Fantastic. Like I said, I was just going to do a shameless plug. If anyone else wants to share the link of the live stream on the Facebook page or in a group that you're a part of, feel free to do so. I try to get as many people involved as possible. We always seem to have a good laugh. Let me just do this. Is anyone experiencing a new version of Facebook at the moment? Like a really strange looking version of Facebook, even though you're looking at it on a PC or whatever. Or maybe I'm just massively behind the times. Maybe the UK rollout of this new version of Facebook isn't complete yet, because it's strange. It doesn't look like it used to look, and I'm still trying to find my way around it. It's all different. But the annoying thing is when you spend a couple hours on it and then come back to regular Facebook, you can't remember how to use that one either. But right, so ladies and gents, There is no specific topic as such this evening. I kind of wanted to try something a little bit different and ask you guys to pick the topic. If there is anybody that has a topic suggestion that hopefully I'll know something about that you want to discuss, please feel free to leave a comment in the section with what you want to talk about tonight. We've covered the clutch quite a lot in these live streams. We've covered rear suspension. We could talk a little bit about front forks. I know Craig can give us all of some great information about the springs in particular on the front forks. So maybe we could start there. But if anybody does have a suggestion, please feel free to leave it in the comment section. Let's have a chat. Here comes that live stream link. Live stream. I can't speak today. Here we go. Live stream. Now up. There we go. So yeah, let's see. There was I think there was another celebration this weekend, wasn't there a Canada Day? I didn't even know that was a thing until I saw a YouTube video from one of the vloggers I watch, who's Canadian, who was celebrating Canada Day. Is that the same day as 4th of July? Is it the same thing? Oh, Craig, sorry mate, yeah, you missed Canada Day. Yeah, sorry, yeah, it just literally just came to mind. Myra says, I'd be interested in my favourite tools. My favourite tools? Okay, this is going to sound a little bit like a plug, okay? But let me grab the link for you guys first, because I keep doing this. I always suggest stuff and then people have a go at me on Facebook after the live stream saying you never left the link for that thing in the live stream. So I'm going to pull it up now and get you the link. And what it is, it made this job that I've just done on the front forks. Oh, for years I've done it by hand or by using a tool that's not specific for the job at hand. Tell you what, this laptop is going to end up through the window in a minute. There we go. You have to really slam the keys. It absolutely is such a breeze to work with this tool. And what it is, here we go. So I can see myself here. Here we go. It's a seal driver. Sounds really, really exciting, right? And all it is this little beauty here. Okay. That sits on top of your new seal. So your fork goes through here, and then you have your driver, your weight, which splits into two pieces, and that clamps around the fork. That sits on the seal, and you just do that up and down, and it drives the seal down, providing even pressure around the entire fork for the seal. And I was so happy today when I was finishing off this video and putting the new seals in and not having to build my own. I always used to build a seal driver, and I used to get a piece of PVC tubing that was smaller than the fork, go for like 35 to 38 mil PVC tubing, cut it in half, same as this, so you ended up with two pieces of PVC, and then get yourself like an exhaust clamp and bolt it down onto the fork and use that as a seal driver. And this time I was like, no, I'm not doing that again. I'm just going to spend the 30 quid and buy myself a seal driver. It's definitely not the highest quality, but for 30 quid, I think it was like 28 quid. It was so easy. So that is my new favourite tool. But another favourite tool, probably because it didn't cost me anything, you've seen me use it, is this torque wrench. A very, very good friend of mine gave this to me about 3 or 4 months ago. I went round to ask if he had one I could borrow, and he gave me this one, and it is a high quality torque wrench, so that's got to be in the top 3 of favourite tools right here, because I've got the little small one that goes from like 1 Newton meter up to I think maybe 20 Newton meters, and then this one goes all the way up to 210 Newton meters, made by a company called, oh, I think it's German. There it is there. You guys make that out. That's the brand. I think that's the brand. I don't think it's this green one. Might be. Cock. So those definitely, off the top of my head, that's definitely my two favourite tools right now. I've got loads of them, man. I get really excited about tools, especially like bits, Allen bits, and socket sets, and all those sorts of things. Yeah, it's really strange. But when I'm on Amazon, eBay, or anywhere like that, and they've got an offer on a kit of sorts, yeah, I have to be careful because I end up spending a lot of money on tools that I already have, but I want new ones. Let's see what else you guys have spoken about today. Where are we? Craig says, oh, so Canada Day is July 1st. So that was what, Wednesday? Wednesday, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Yes, Wednesday. What's that in celebration of, Craig? Just out of interest. Is it like when Canada became its own country or something like that? The discovery of Canada. I don't know. Like, honestly, I apologize if that's way off and that it's just like a holiday that happens every year, casual holiday. Because we don't have a British Day or a England Day or anything like that. So it'd be interesting to know what that is. Let's see what else. So yeah, sorry, Myra. I hope that answers your question in regards to my favourite tools. I'll dig some more out in a little bit. Willow says, if you put on 2-inch lower springs in the back, is it a must to do the front springs? I think that's an answer for a question for Craig. There you go. Oh, he's already answered it. Fantastic. Songstar says, I still have problems with my clutch. I think I have leakage in the slave cylinder, so I ordered a new one to install. Leakage. Where was the leakage coming from, Songstars? Have we spoken about this before? I feel like we might have already discussed this, maybe last week. If you're getting clutch leakage, out of where? Let me know where. Tabitha, one of my questions is how do I leave the petcock after I turn the intruder off? This is a debate that I see crop up a few times on the Facebook page. I have never, at the end of a ride, or if I'm leaving my bike, turned off the fuel. I never have, even if I'm leaving the bike for a week. But there is a few factors to take into consideration. If you're leaving your bike outside or in a really damp location, somewhere that gets hot and then it gets cold repeatedly, you might want to go ahead and turn off the fuel tap, because then any fuel left in the bowl, it's not going to go manky, because you've effectively burnt it. You'll leave minimal amount of fuel in the carbs. But like I say, I've never ever turned off the fuel tap, the petcock, and I've never had an issue ever. And I'm in a really damp country. My bike doesn't live outside like some of yours do, but no, I don't ever do that. Craig, PVC pipe will do the same thing as a seal driver. Yes, absolutely will. Tabitha, Craig, okay, I'm just wondering how to work. Never had a motorcycle with a choke and a petcock. Thought it was the fuel line to cut the gas and carbs. Okay. Willow, 100% Navy jet mechanic, and these bikes are actually harder to work on. I need mil spec books. Rodrigo, great to have you here, buddy. Rodrigo, he says, because England didn't win independence from anyone. No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. We were a horrible lot back in the day, weren't we? Absolutely. I mean, a lot of them still are. But no, okay. So that makes more sense. Yeah, that kind of answers the Canada Day question. We don't get taught that stuff here. It's terrible. We get taught about how many wives Henry VII had or whatever. Really great stuff to learn about, because that matters, right? Myra, do you actually speak German? Because I have seen a few comments in German-speaking groups. I don't speak German. My missus can speak German. I typically, though, if I'm typing, I will just use Google Translate to make sure that it gets translated as effectively and as quickly as possible. I like to try and respond. If people are reaching out to me and asking me questions or are kind enough to support the channel, I will always do my best to respond in your native tongue. It's the least I can do. Mrs. Hagar, we have St. George's Day. Yeah, we have St. George's Day, but that's about him killing a dragon, wasn't it, Mrs. Hagar? Slaying a dragon. It's great to have you here, Rodrigo. She really is the much better half, Craig. She really is. Definitely. Willow's 4th was my mum's birthday. She would have been 88 yesterday. Wow. Celebrated from first since she passed. Oh. Okay. Jamie, you're back. You were here earlier, mate, weren't you? And then you disappeared. I'm really close to the screen tonight. Hang on, my forehead looks huge. Not sure about this. Hang on, let's move the camera around a bit so you get more of the front face as opposed to the side face. That's a bit better. Yeah, you're right, Craig. Most countries don't. You're absolutely right. But I don't consider, the wives of Henry the Seventh or whatever, Henry whatever he was, to be important. I really don't. We should learn more about other people's history. We the Brits in particular should learn about how horrendous our ancestors were. Maybe it would make us a little bit nicer in general as a country. I think we're pretty accommodating as a whole, but Rodrigo, thanks buddy. In the garage listening while I battle this damn CBR 600RR build. I'm looking forward to seeing an update on that, Rodrigo. I really am. Rodrigo, with my homie Mauricio, who got me into motorcycles. That's awesome, dude. Have you got a Facebook page or an Instagram page set up for it, Rodrigo? The 600 build? Right. So, has anybody else got a topic that we can talk about right now? Because I'm a little bit concerned that I'm going to bore the pants off of you tonight. Let's see, what could we talk about? We've done tools. There is a video going live later on tonight, 10 o'clock. A lot of you should be... It is a two-parter. Yeah, see, that's how well we are taught in this country. Miss Hagar correcting me there. Thank you. Henry the Eighth, not the 7th. He had 7 wives, though, right? Yes, what can we talk about? Video going live tonight. It's a two-parter video. The first part is going up tonight, and the second part will go up on Wednesday. And it is a fork, disassemble, strip down, and rebuild. New seals, new oil. Something that a lot of people have been asking for quite some time. So that is going up tonight, the first part of that. Let's see. I don't really have any major news to break for you guys this week. You got the stickers last week, they turned up. The new t-shirts went live on the website earlier in the week. A few of you were asking about that previous to the last one, I think. Hoodies are the same. There's no new hoodies this week, I'm afraid, guys. I've just been too busy to get the new designs finished. But there is some new stuff. Oh, mugs! Is that? I've put a Hagar Moto mug together. You can get yourself a Hagar Moto novelty mug if that's up on the website as well. But apart from that, it's been a really busy work week. The work this week for the business has just been mad. So very limited. I was hoping, like I said last week, to do a live stream rebuild, tear out of the engine on the Intruder for you guys. I just didn't have time to put it together, but it will happen. Let's see if anyone has commented. Willow, if solo rider, is there any benefits to bigger front caliper? Yeah, I wouldn't put a new front caliper on the front just because I was carrying a pillion It really is a day and night difference. And there is something I need to mention there, guys. I left out something very important in the video, and I apologize for it. That video that I put up about the brake caliper, I was trying a new approach to how I was putting the videos together, seeing how quick I could film it, because I have a limited amount of time. So I was trying to see how quickly I could put it together and how smoothly the video would go. If you notice, there was no music, there was no intro, there was no outro as such. But by sort of approaching it with more speed in mind, I left something out, and that is that you can't use the original brake line, the hose, to connect to these Takiko 6-pots. You just need to get yourself a standard, let's see if I've got one lying around. You need to get yourself a banjo line, 10mm I think it is. So if you are or have bought Takiko 6-pots to go on the front end, make sure that you also go and find yourself a suitable brake line with a 10mm on the end, banjo joint on the end. But yeah, no, the difference that you will get on the front end braking with a Takiko 6-pot Willow is absolutely incredible. There's a reason they use 6-pots on sport bikes, and it's because of their power. You never really see a sport bike going around a track with a pillion on the back. So yeah, no, definitely do it if you can get your hands on a set of them cheap enough. I'd highly recommend it. Mine were off a ZX something or other. I did know it yesterday. Mine was off a 900 something, GSZR or GZRX. I don't bloody know. And they fitted perfectly. The important thing is that you make sure you get the right hand side mounted one for the front. Don't get the left hand side, because it won't fit with the caliper and the adapter and the forks. You have to make sure it's the right hand side, and that's when you're sat on the bike. If you're sat on the bike looking forward, that becomes the right side. So just make sure you get the right hand ones. Disco, great to have you here, man. How's it going? Mrs. Hagar, do you want a chocolate mug cake? Can I have a cup of tea instead, please? Myra, what do you think about the stock brakes? Is it worth changing them? As I just said, Myra, I think in particular the front brake, I know that Ryan Winters from Winters Machining is developing a rear brake adapter so we can use the 6-pots on the rear brakes as well. You can get those adapters in other places. I believe there's a guy in Germany that makes them. But I think the brakes as a whole on this bike are pretty naff. They, and for the sake of 60-70 quid, I think that's what I paid for the pair of mine. They were rebuilt as well. Somebody had rebuilt them. The stopping performance, it will be huge, so definitely worth the upgrade. 6-pot Takiko 6-pots, Myra, are the ones that you want to look into. If you go to the channel after the live stream, you'll see the video I put up on Wednesday is all about the Takiko 6-pot. It's only a very short video, but you'll be able to see what brake I'm using, what style, etc. Exactly. Rodrigo, yep. Craig, definitely. Disco, did you ever get round to discussing aftermarket carb jetting, air filters and exhaust combinations? No, but we could discuss that if you wanted to. The reason I haven't discussed it yet is because I haven't done the video for it yet. While it is in the works and I have everything ready to go, in fact there might be 2 little pods sat on these carbs at the moment, and there's something, like I said in one of the previous videos, there is something pretty cool happening with the exhaust system that I'm excited about. Something you don't see very often, not here in the UK anyway, because it's totally illegal. And no, it's not a flamethrower, just FYI. That will be happening soon. The engine tear out video has to happen this week because I'm getting sick of not being able to ride now. So I will do that. I will still do it on a live stream if people want to see it on a live stream, and we'll rip the engine out. I'll probably take the front end and the rear end off, not on live stream, just so it's done, and then we'll have the frame and the engine. We'll put the frame up on the bench, and I'll live stream taking everything out and removing the engine for you guys. Let's see. Rodrigo says a nice braided set. Absolutely. The company I use for my braided steel hoses is a company called HEL. If you can get hold of them, you really should. They're just high quality stuff. Not cheap. I think now I'm in nearly £200 just in steel braided cables from HEL on my Intruder. Craig Hennessy says ZX9. I think you said yes. I think you're quite right. Kawasaki, I think it was. Yeah, Kawasaki. Myra, ape hanger or wide bar? Oh, for me personally, see, I like ape hangers, but in order to make them look really good on this bike, you have to do quite a lot to the rest of the bike, in my opinion. If you had a stock bike, stock Intruder, and then just threw ape hangers on it, I don't think it works really. You've really got to take the height of the bike into consideration. You know, you drop the rear, maybe even rake the front a little bit, and then have ape hangers and turn it into more of a classic chopper looking sort of motorcycle. Then yes, definitely ape hangers. But a straight bar I think works quite nicely as well. Here in the UK we're so congested on the roads that I will probably go for something that is about as shoulder width, maybe a little bit wider, just so that I can continue to filter on the roads that I need to filter on. Tabitha, anyone have any ideas for squeaky brakes? Yeah, clean them. Try cleaning them. Myra, Ryan Winters sells the adapter needed for the better front calipers. Yes, he does. Mrs. Hagar, of course, yay, cup of tea on the way. Let's see if anyone else has any questions as such. Let's see. Jay Moody, welcome my friend. He says, thanks for all of the videos. Just bought a 99 VS1400 and I'm going to try and make a custom bobber, but just wanted to thank you for the videos you're putting out with the disassembly. You're most welcome, Jay. And thank you for your kind words, good sir. This whole channel seems to have, it's become a thing now. I mentioned this last week or the week before, how it's become a thing now, and I'm constantly thinking about it. And legitimately, at the beginning, it was just so that I would have a visual representation of how to put things back together. And clearly, these videos were needed. You know, I think a lot of people were yearning for video content on these bikes. There just wasn't anything. I think I could count how many videos there were on the Intruder, like how to do things on the Intruder, on one hand at the time of me starting the channel. So I'm glad that it's serving a purpose, the purpose that I wanted it to serve from the beginning, which was to have a reference and to help people. So you're more than welcome, Jay. Thank you. Willows, I did set up my bars and handles for me this week. We need a way in which you guys can send in your photos and stuff. Thank you, Mrs. Hager. Yes. Cup of tea. Oh, that's better. Yeah, we need to set up maybe something on the website where you can upload your photographs during the live stream so that I can check out what you're working on. That would be pretty cool. Maybe we should look into doing that. Reddick Tom, I hope I'm saying that right. Oh, it's an R. Torn. How are you? Great to have you here. Are you not allowed to filter in Canada, Craig? Wow. I know there's a few states in the US you're not allowed to do that either, isn't it? See, but here, I don't think they have a choice here. There's so much on the road, and the roads are so small that you can't get where you want to go on a motorcycle if you couldn't filter. It would just take so long. Reddick, I'm just going to call you Reddick from now on, brother. Is it possible to install a kickstart on an Intruder 1400? You would need access to the crank. You'd have to customize some stuff big time. But I've never really thought about it properly. I know you can definitely do a suicide shifter, but you can do that on pretty much any geared bike, manual geared bike. I don't know. Does somebody know has anybody seen a 1400 with a kickstart? That's a really good question. That's something that maybe I'll look into for next week. That's a really good question. Would be interesting. I mean, do you need it though? I mean, I always find that kickstarts are so temperamental, especially if they're the only way for the bike to start. Never rely on a kickstart. Never. Whereas a lot of people would say you only ever rely on a kickstart. Yeah, I've not had good experiences with kickstarts. Being left in the middle of nowhere in the pissing British rain. Tabitha, how clean? Soap and water. I'm assuming you're talking about something else up the comment section there. Let's see. Jay, will I be able to hide the computer under the seat if I change it out to a bobber Springer seat? So what most people do is they'll put a pan under the Springer. So you'll make an aluminium triangle effectively and put it underneath the Springer seat but on top of the frame. So you're effectively sealing that section up, and it gives you somewhere to work off with the springs as well, and somewhere to mount the front of that seat too. Definitely do a Google search on that, because there's lots of people out there that have done it. You can relocate everything on this bike if you've got enough time, patience, skill and money. Everything can be relocated. We mentioned last week the Moto Gadget M unit that I'm seriously tempted to buy, because it would mean that I can run a single cable, effectively a single cable from the battery up to the M unit, and then split all the appliance wires off of the M unit, and not have this massive cluster of all these wires coming back to the fuse box and everything like that. So when that happens, I'll be sure to do a video on that as well, because I think a lot of you would appreciate that video. And if you've ever seen any of the big Batman looking intruders typically put together by LMC in Germany, they always use the M units to get rid of the wiring, because it's so easy to hide the wiring. You put the M unit up under the tank and you run a single cable from the battery. I'm pretty sure they'll hollow out, they hollow out their frames when they mod their frames, and then they run that single cable through the frame up to the M unit, and then splice off to the headlight, the controls, etc. from the M unit to the front of the bike, and then you've just got your negatives or your earth cables all coming back to one single point at the front of the bike as opposed to the rear of the bike. So it can be done. You can get rid of or adjust and change everything. It just comes down to money, time and skill. But let's see. Yeah, that's what I thought, Craig. Never heard of a Kickstarter on one in 20 years. So I don't know. Maybe if you dug deep enough, there probably is somebody out there that's managed to do it. It would just be a case of finding that person. Whether or not that you'll ever find information on how to do it, that's a different story. I certainly won't be doing it, not on this bike. Trying to kick a 1400 would be a bet. It really would. It really would. You'd kind of want to get the rear wheel off every time you did it, just to reduce any friction that there might be at all. Willows, mine will have a suicide shift if my arthritis gets the best of me before I give up riding again. It's good that you've got a solution to your problems there, sir. Absolutely. Myra, J Moody, you will probably have a few problems with the stock wiring. The TCI would have enough space, but the connectors and plugs will claim a lot of the space, which will cause problems. Exactly, and that's why the M unit, it gets rid of all your relays, etc., because they're all built into it. It's a box about that big. I advise that you go and check out a Google search right now of the Moto Gadget M unit, and I think it's the blue version, the new version, which is what I would want. And it's one power cable to the unit, and then all of the cables come off of that unit. No relays midway through the cables, nothing like that, because it takes care of everything. Myra, for the new wiring, you should absolutely visit Odin from eWorks at Facebook. He makes the whole cables disappear. Perfect, because that's what I want. I don't want to see a cable. I'm sick of them. I'm absolutely sick of seeing these cables. I'll rebuild it at some point. A stock wiring harness, I will rebuild it. But yeah, no, if I can get rid of those cables, that would make me happy, definitely. Disco75, I'm currently chopping and shortening parts of the loom to reduce the excess wiring under my new seat, which is time consuming, but I keep telling myself it will be worth it. Absolutely, Disco, it will be. It will be. Just make sure you're connecting everything correctly. You don't want any shorts. I saw a horrendous video about 4 weeks ago. Some poor bloke on one of the Suzuki forums put up a video of his Suzuki Intruder on fire, literally flames bellowing out of it because he had an electrical fault. And this was a good looking Intruder as well, and it just went up in smoke because he had a short on one of his wires. So feel so sorry for him. He just finished building it as well. Willows, my 60 iron head was bored out and would throw you over bars without a blink. I can believe it. Songstars, I tried to do reverse bleeding but couldn't get the pressure to the canister. I have now bought an oil pump that is connected to an air compressor. Okay, just be careful with that, brother. Don't go putting too much pressure through these lines, especially the clutch, because if you know the clutch system, the bottom half of the clutch line is metal, and if you put too much pressure in there, you might blow that metal out because it's not exactly new, that metal work, that pipe work, and just be careful. Walk me through the process. You should have been able to get that pressure through, no problem. Well, you would definitely, and I don't mean to teach you to suck eggs, you were definitely opening the nipple far enough on the bleed nipple before trying to apply pressure to the syringe, right? Myra, Craig, which group do you mean? Is there a Hagar group? No, I think Craig's probably talking about the Suzuki Intruder group. Let me see if I can find a link to that. I'm on my laptop tonight, guys. Sorry, I've only got the one screen, so every time I click away, I'm not sure what you guys are saying. Mrs. Hagar, literally sick of all the wires in our lives. Yep, we have a lot of them. Well, I do. We try to eliminate wiring wherever we can. Cable management is a big part of my daily routine on pretty much everything that I own. I hate it. If I see wires out of place, it will come in or like up against walls or underneath a desk or something like that. I just can't stand it. Rodrigo, I'm afraid of the bursting into fire on the street. Yeah, we all got to be careful of that. If you start messing with the wiring, you do need to know what you're doing. You know, you will cause an electrical fire if you're not careful. Keep seeing my 60 burning up. It has actually happened, and reason I gave up on my bikes 30 years ago. Wow, so your bike went up in flames. That's pretty scary. And it is one of the main things that you should be concerned about, everybody that's planning on messing with their wiring, because it does happen. If you don't know what you're doing and there's a short or a wire comes loose, a positive wire comes loose and starts shorting on the frame and stuff like that, you're asking for trouble. Always asking for trouble. It's not a bad idea, Craig. Not a bad idea. Got a few different things going on here with the back end of the YouTube studio, though. I have to keep a look on certain things. Like there's a section for naughty comments, so if you use a naughty word, it gets grayed out automatically, and I get notified of that. It's just a whole different dashboard here. But yeah, I'm hoping that I've got a flat screen TV stored over here. It's only a small one. But I'm thinking about mounting that on the wall so that I've at least got 2 displays for when we do these videos and stuff. But yeah, right. I was gonna find a link to something, and now I can't remember what the link was that I wanted to find for you guys. It's gone, absolutely gone. So yes. So is there anybody in the chat right now that? Hang on. That is thinking about rebuilding the forks on the front end, because Craig's in the chat tonight, and I think did you already mention it? Jay, where are you based? Are you in the UK or are you in the US? If you're in the UK, I can give you the name of a website that's based in Germany that does all the OEM stock parts for the Intruders. Where are we? Yeah, forks, ladies and gents. Because everybody seemed to be hounding me for it, and now nobody seems to be doing it. Or everyone's already done it. That could be the case. Yeah, the seal driver, it just, you know, it's been done correctly, you know, and it was just nice to take it out of a packet rather than have to spend 10 minutes building one and then hoping that it was done correctly and that you're not gonna damage the seal and, you know, all that sort of stuff. But it's good to have. It's a nice little tool to have. Excuse me. Myra, okay, if you want to look right now, just search for Odin eWorks at Facebook. He makes your bike looking like a Wi-Fi bike. That's pretty cool. Right. So, let me pull up. I'm going to pull up the website for a minute because... Let's see if I can get a link over to you guys. Yeah, for some reason, Craig, it's not letting me post links either. Every time I do it, grays it out. Let's see what's going on here. There should be a link though, guys. If you're not a member, I say it every week, if you're not a member of the Facebook forum, the Suzuki VS1400 forum that I'm a member of, it should be in the links on this video in the description. Yes, it is. Under social links, it's the Suzuki Intruder VS1400 group forum link. Click on that and that will take you over to the page. And if you click join, one of the moderators, either myself, Craig, or one of the other guys, will get you in to the website. It's great. Sorry, into the page. It's a great page to be a part of. Loads of good stuff going on there on a daily basis. So definitely worth a look at. Oh, a couple more comments coming in. Myra, yes, forks. I have the new springs lying around, but won't do that before I've seen your video. It is a nice, straightforward process. The most difficult thing, if you don't have the correct tool, and maybe someone who's already done the forks in the past can shed some secrets on how to do it, is how to retighten the bolt that goes in the end of the fork into the dampener rod. That's the challenging bit if you don't have the correct specialized tools. On a lot of bikes, and I don't want to say too much because I kind of go over this in the video and it make the video tonight kind of pointless, is on a lot of bikes the damper rod has a hex or Allen key end to it. So when you're coming in from the top of the fork, you can put a bolt or a nut on the end of a socket or something like that and make your own tool. But the damper rod inside these forks is circular. There's nothing to grip onto, and what you need, technically, going by what Suzuki say, is one of their special sockets, which is a tapered spike, and it's got ridges all the way around it, which provide the grip for the damper rod. And then you can tighten up that bolt on the other end. So I do show you how to do it in part 2 without that specialized tool, but I would recommend that you invest in that tool. They're not cheap though. I think the cheapest one I've seen in the UK is around £45 for a socket that's that big that I'll probably only use twice in the next 10 years. So yeah, absolutely mad. But let's see, Myra bought the Worth progressive no frictions. I've not heard of the Worth ones, I don't think. Exactly, Disco, there you go. Sorry mate, I've only just seen your comment. What did you use to hold the damper rod from rotating in the bottom of the slider when you tighten it up? Had to manufacture a makeshift push-in dowel rod from old broken handle. It worked. You're absolutely right, it does work. And if you watch the video tonight, you'll see what I use at least to get the rod out, not putting it back in. That's another DIY tool. Let's see, Charlie Kenny, how's it going, mate? Having trouble with the dreaded kickstand safety light, prevents me starting the 86 750 GLF. Perhaps I'll log into your Facebook page, thank you. If you're having problems with the Kickstarter, the Kickstarter, I've got Kickstarter on the brain now. The kickstand not allowing you to start the engine, you've probably got you might have a bad neutral light switch. If it's the same as the 1400, and bearing in mind that I don't own the 750, the clutch switch, the neutral light switch, and the kickstand switch all kind of work together. And if one of them isn't working correctly, it can throw off the other one. You might have a bad clutch handle switch. So there's a few possibilities there, my friend. Is it giving you any signs of life at all, or is it literally a case just no sound, nothing? It's the decomp valve isn't engaging or anything like that. Yeah, let me know. Let me know what's going on there. Myra, Craig. Oh, that's for Craig. Yes, that's the one. Sonic Springs. Thanks, Craig. Sonic Springs or Race Tech, because you can get them ordered to whatever weight you are as a person. So that's really good system in places that you can actually get basically custom fork springs for your weight. Just don't go putting any weight on or losing too much weight too quickly. Mad Max, great to have you here, buddy. For me, it usually works without the special tool, just by assembling the fork dry. Force of the spring is enough to tighten the bolt. Are you tightening it all the way down to the specified Newton meterage, my friend? Because it should be anywhere between 15 and 25 Newton meters, and Loctite obviously on the bolt. But yeah, they are the same. Oh, okay, brilliant, Craig. So yeah, if you're not getting any signs of life, there's a few things that you need to yes, Mrs. Hagar. Sorry, guys. Yes, similar. We had an electrical fault on a 125cc bike that we bought for Mrs. Hagar last year. Turned out to be an electrical problem. Once I'd separated two bare wires that were touching each other, which were clearly from the kickstand, it started working again. But there's three main places you want to look at, and that's the clutch switch, the neutral light switch, and the kickstand side stand switch as well. Charlie Kenny, struggling with bandwidth, not bike related. All suggestions greatly appreciated. A better service. If you've got bad bandwidth, we're talking about Wi-Fi, right? If you've got bad Wi-Fi, you've got fiber optic. Exactly, Willows. $20 fix, clutch switch. They're really inexpensive, readily available. They use them on multiple different versions of bikes. So if you can't get one locally or close to you or within the same area as you for the 1400, you might want to look at the 800, because I think they're the same. Especially the kickstand switch is exactly the same on the 800 as it is on the 1400. I know because I bought the 800 kickstand switch for £3 secondhand to replace the original, and now it works a dream. All fits the same, bolts are the same, mounting points are the same, everything's the same. So yeah, you'll be surprised how many parts from the 800 in particular will go on to the 1400, especially the accessories and switches and stuff. So always good to look for that side of things as well, the 800 stuff. But yeah, right guys, we're going to wrap this up in the next 5-10 minutes. Going to keep it to an hour tonight. I went on for 2 hours last week, and I went on for an hour and a half the week before, and I've got to go and finish this video. Charlie, sorry mate, I didn't mean to if you really are struggling with bandwidth in terms of Wi-Fi speed, I would recommend, first of all, look at how much you're paying. What are you paying for? You're getting fiber optic speeds, which is like here in the UK, we get up to 76 megabytes download speed, and I think I get around 14 megabits or megabytes upload speed. So we have really fast fiber here where I am today. I would maybe check with them, see what your rate is. If you want to check your Wi-Fi speed, Google the word Ookla, Ookla, and that's a speed tester. And you just hit start, and it will tell you how fast your internet is, and you can get a good gauge from there. Oh, it's in the wilderness. Okay, so you're on a hotspot, right? You're on a dongle or something, or your phone data. You're on a data plan of sorts. If it's slow, if you don't have 4G anymore, if you don't have 4G, 3G is becoming a thing of the past. So systems like YouTube, their whole back-end system is geared towards 4G and now 5G, and it's becoming harder and harder for older tech to keep up with newer versions of these sorts of systems. So it might be worth making sure that you've got a 4G connection at the very least. How's it going, Mothership? Joining us there as we start talking about data and Wi-Fi and stuff like that. How's it going? I apologise for not being able to make the live stream last night. It's been a mad week. Oh. Craig definitely has Facebook, Willow, or email. Right, so Mothership, tell me about your week, good sir. Have you done anything to the bike? I did start watching your live stream from last week on Tuesday. I think I got about half an hour in, and you mentioned that you did do some bits to your bike. Yes, this isn't from Facebook, guys. This is directly from YouTube. Facebook likes to be incredibly difficult with setting up the live stream in a way that I can then have people call in and appear on the screen like you've seen me do a few times. Unless you're using a pre-built system for that, which I'm not, it can be really difficult. So YouTube's a little bit more flexible. You know, it's kind of built in out of the box kind of stuff. But you got another 1400, Mothership. Fucking brilliant. Anything wrong with this one? Or are we or is it kind of a set and forget kind of deal? You can just jump on it and ride? Or would that be a silly thing to assume? I was looking at a 1400 the other day. What would you guys pay? And this is a serious question. There's a guy locally, the only other VS 1400 in the area, probably within about 20 miles of me, is actually in my hometown where I am. It's in the same place. It doesn't run right. It needs work. I would want to tear the engine down. And it sounds like it's got cam chain slap. You know, it's really rattly. It's a 1400. It's an 87 1400, I think. But it just sounds so really, really rattly. And I would want to strip it down, make sure that the chain guides are okay, make sure the cam's okay, see if there was any internal damage. And the guy who's selling it, he wants 1,500 quid for it. It doesn't run right. I mean, I'm not comfortable paying 1,500 quid for a bike that I know that I'm going to have to strip apart before I can ride. I'd probably pay up to maybe 800 quid for it. And even then, I would still consider that to be a risk. Here in the UK, bike prices are through the roof, whereas I know in the US you can get some really, really good deals, but for so little money. I mean, Rob's come across some brilliant deals over the last few months. Exactly, Mothership. $500 cash. That's like 380 pounds, 400 and something pounds. I mean, I wouldn't second guess that sort of price. Not for a second. I paid 1,100 for my bike as a non-runner when I first got it, but the only reason I paid 1,100 for it as a non-runner was because what was wrong with it was kind of trivial service stuff: new oil, new battery, you know, new filters, etc., new bits and bobs. Nothing. It wasn't like the engine needed to be rebuilt. It'd been sat for 2 years and it needed a good going over. So I was more than comfortable, and it's in great condition. So I was more than happy to pay 1,100 for it. That's cheap here in the UK. But 1,500 quid for a bike that is rattling when you start it, don't think about that. I don't think so. Yeah, exactly, mothership. Yeah, I'm more than happy to tinker on any bike that comes through the front door, but it's that kind of how much am I willing to invest in this right now off the bat before I can get it going properly to where I can just jump on it and not have to worry about bolts falling off or the engine going up in flames. Myra, it has lovely people and great nature, but I would like them to talk to me by pen and paper. Rodrigo, I got a free 93 Kawasaki EX500. That's a good deal. That's a really good deal. Does it run okay? Or did you have to do anything to it, Rodrigo? Willow says he paid $11.50 for his. It's a good price. Hit by UK standards, that's a really good price. Yes, quid. Sorry guys, quid is slang for British pound. That's what we say here. You guys say, well, in the States anyway, you say bucks, right? We say quid. 3,000 Canadian dollars. Yes, too much. Absolutely, definitely too much. The Scottish accent can be tricky, especially the further north you go. Where are we talking about Scotland here? Have I missed a huge part of this conversation, Mrs. Hagar? Because I have not seen any Scottish references or discussions going on here. Your dealer wanted 3,600 quid for my 06. Yeah, that's about right. That's about right. You probably get 3.5 to 4 for the VS1400 here in the UK if it's in good shape. If any that do come up on Facebook Marketplace or eBay in the UK, they're all 3.5 and up, always. Yeah. Rodrigo, I had to rebuild the carb to get it running. It's not too bad then. But got it to start and idle. Fantastic. Mothership, I bought a KZ 550F 2 days ago for $400. Got it running yesterday. Fantastic, man. That's awesome. I did pick something up from one of those live streams, Mothership, that you have a tendency to buy multiple bikes at once. Is that correct? Is that a correct assumption? Not that that's a bad thing. It sounded like you kind of don't seem to go more than a week or two without acquiring a new bike, and I envy that, if I'm being honest. Craig Hennessy, I got it for 3,000 quid, only had 582 miles. It's a good deal. It's a very good deal. Right then, ladies and gents, I am going to wrap this up and I'm going to go and have dinner. Thank you all so much for joining. Has anybody got any last minute questions? I really am enjoying these live streams, guys. You guys are always such good fun to talk to. Can't referring to and probably doubting the commenter's state of mind. Yep, exactly. Rodrigo, needed so much work it basically sat outside and collected gunk among other things for a decade. Nice. Yeah, there's definitely some work needed on those sorts of bikes. I feel so fortunate to have this place to be able to put my bikes in and work on them. There is going to be some changes. Like I said earlier, one of the viewing angles, we've got a new viewing angle in the video, which I'm hoping will get you guys involved a little bit more. You'll be able to see things a lot clearer, I hope. You'll see more of it in the second part of tonight's video, which will be out on Wednesday. Tonight, though, you'll get a taster of it by the end of the video. But this area as a whole is being adjusted over the coming weeks. There's going to be a wall being put up at the end. There's going to be some things moved around. I've got some pretty cool stuff happening. So just so I can make these videos for you guys and working on the bike easier. It's quite a battle at the moment working on the bike and shooting everything. Which is why I keep missing deadlines for my videos, because I'm constantly struggling with either equipment or the garage shop, whatever you want to call it, as a whole. And it's just not a smooth, easy process to be in here and do both. So I'm trying to fix that, and hopefully these changes over the coming weeks will do that. So yeah, keep an eye out for some changes. Take care of yourself, Willow. Thanks for stopping in. Let's see. Okay, guys, fantastic. Well, look, I'm going to leave a link here to the website. Those of you that haven't already been over and checked it out, we've tried to transcribe the videos as best we can, so that people that might want to follow along with written content can also read the content of that video as well as watch it at the same time. So I'm hoping, I've just changed the setting on YouTube, I'm hoping this link will now come through. Whee! Yes, it did. So you can go over to there, you can view it on your mobile or on your laptop. It's, as I say every week, it's a growing process. There's still a lot of content on there that hasn't been put up because I'm too busy doing the videos and then post-production, etc. But we are getting there, slowly getting more and more traction on that website. I think we had 1,200 people look at it last week alone, organically. So it's definitely getting some traction, which is great news because it was a lot of work to put together. So if you need references to things like tools, torque settings, etc., that's where all of my information is going to start being, you know, all the specifics. So if I miss something in a video, it will be on that website link, hagarmoto.com. But for now, guys, I'm going to leave you all to enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thank you all for tuning in. You take care of yourselves, and tonight, 10 o'clock British time, which I believe will be about 5 o'clock Central US time, there will be a new how-to video going up on the channel. It's done, it's produced, it's exported. I'm just waiting for YouTube to finish rendering it, and then it will be released. So it will be about 10 o'clock tonight. You'll get a notification. If you are subscribed but you haven't clicked on that bell icon, that's why you're not getting notifications as to when I upload a video. So click on the bell icon next to the subscription button, and that will then turn on notifications. So whenever I upload, you'll get a little reminder to say that the video has come through. So thank you very much, Craig. Great to have you here tonight, mate. Rodrigo, you take care of yourself. Mothership, Soldier VS800 for 2K. That's a bloody good deal, my friend. Willow, thanks for being involved again. Everyone that's here, Myra, thanks for joining us. Tabitha, I know you were there somewhere. Jay as well for stopping in. Great to have you here. Jason, let's see, was there anybody else that I missed? Mrs. Hagar, of course, and everybody else that joined in. Take care of yourself, guys, and I shall see you tonight at 10 o'clock. All the best. See you later.